Hello, welcome back to our next lecture. So in our previous lecture we have learned about knowledge based agent, their representation, mechanism of agent program. Okay, three functions are there. It is based on these three functions: make, percept, sentence, make action query, make action sentence. Okay, now further we will see what is level of knowledge based agent. In this video we will see the level as well as we will see one example. Okay, so levels of knowledge agent are two. One is knowledge level, the other one is implementation level. Okay, the knowledge level, the agent's current knowledge it has perceived is nothing but knowledge level. Agent's current knowledge that it has perceived. Okay, knowledge level is the goal of an agent. Implementation level means what? How the knowledge based agent actually implements its stored knowledge. So talking about example of the same is air conditioner, automatic air conditioner what we have. Okay, now in that case, talking about inbuilt knowledge stored in the system is it would adjust its temperature as per the weather. Automatic air conditions automatically adjust the temperature as per the weather conditions. Okay, so this is nothing but inbuilt this is knowledge level in present in that air conditioner, and the actual working and its adjustment defines the implementation level. Okay, so what is knowledge level? To understand what is the temperature. Okay, accordingly I should increase my to understand what is the weather condition, accordingly I should increase my temperature or decrease my temperature. So that is nothing but knowledge level. And secondly, what is implementation level? To increase the temperature, to decrease the temperature, whatever implementation is required. Okay, that is nothing but implementation level. Okay, so in order to implement knowledge, implementation level. Fine, these are the two levels of KBA. So you can see you've got the knowledge base, you've got the inference, and you've got the GUI user. Okay, so it is knowledge base, a huge oriented set of the knowledge about a particular subject. It contains all the facts. We've already seen this, it's just a revision. It consists of all the facts, judgmental knowledge. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to make this machine work like human. Okay, secondly, inference engine, what we will do, we will give it a set of rules, and accordingly it will be able to make the decisions to give us the conclusions. Okay, so it does the reasoning by manipulating the knowledge base. So inference engine requires knowledge base. And thirdly, we have got the user interface, which presents the questions and informations to the operators and also receives the answers from the operators. So whatever we have seen till now is all based upon the same. Okay, let us see an example to it. Okay, so here our example is there, the Wampus world. Okay, what do you mean by Wampus? Wampus, you consider it as some kind of demon. Okay, demon, Rakshas. Okay, so here I have a room. There's a room. Okay, so the room is of actually we've made it 4 by 4. Okay, so now what we have to do is this agent over here. Agent's starting position is 1 1. Okay, and agent is knowing that this is my safe position. Agent knows that this is its safe position. Okay, and agent also knows that somewhere in one room Wampus is there, that is that demon is there, and in one room glitter is there, that is gold is there. Okay, so what is the aim of is this agent is to reach to the room of the gold, but it is not knowing where is Wampus and where is gold. It is unaware of it. Okay, so agent's beginning position is 1 1, and agent is safe in this position. This is known to the agent. Okay, so 5 initial conditions are there that are listed in the sensors. Okay, so in this way it is calculated actually. When an agent will reach to the gold room, it will get 1000 points if it finds the gold. If it falls into the pits, you can see here in the diagram there are pits also. Few pits are there. Pits means dig. If agent goes into this dig, then it will be losing 1000 points. -1 on every move, and -10 when arrow is used. It is having only one arrow. Okay, so if it uses arrow, it says -10 it will get. Now what we have is 4 by 4 grid. We have to represent this problem, we have used 4 by 4 grid. Okay, and agent is at 1 by 1 1, and it is facing to right. Now gold, we have seen that there is gold in one square, and aim of agent is to reach to this gold, and it is having one arrow through which it can beat Wampus. and it is pits are there at few squares. Okay, this is the condition. Then these are the sensors. Okay, so 5 initial conditions are listed in the sensors. So let us see. First is actuator. Turn 90-degree left or right. Walk 1 square forward. Grab or take the object, shoot an arrow. Okay, these are the actuators with it. Then sensors. Now what sensors are there? Let us see. In the room adjacent to Wampus, excluding the diagonal, it can perceive stench. Stench is foul smell of that Wampus. Okay, so what they've given, if it is if agent is in the room adjacent to Wampus, it will get some foul smell, but that room should be adjacent, not diagonally, okay, horizontally or vertically. So this is the room of Wampus. So you can see over here, if agent is over here or agent is over here, it will get something called as stench. Okay, only to the adjacent. Okay, so the third adjacent room to this one is this. Okay, but over here gold is there. Okay, so no stench over here, you can say. Then, so this is your first sensor. Through sense it will understand. Okay, then in the square adjacent to pit, it agent will perceive breeze. So if the square is adjacent to the pit, again it perceives breeze. Okay, so you can see in the diagram, if the square is adjacent to pit, okay, so here agent can sense or perceive breeze. So this is pit, it will can perceive breeze over here, breeze over here, breeze over here breeze, here breeze. Okay, we are not seeing diagonal adjacencies in this example. Okay, then the third one is, we have seen this sensor, we have seen this sensor. Then third one is, in room containing gold, it will perceive glitter. Okay, there's only one in that room, it will perceive glitter. When agent walks in the wall, it will perceive bump. So if it dashes with a wall, it will get a bump. When the Wampus is killed, okay, its screams can be perceived anywhere in the environment. Fine. So these are the sensors. Now it's reasoning that leads to take the correct action. So let us see how we'll work with this. Okay, so we have seen what all agent is having and where is agent is over here. Okay, and what all it is having, that also. Now initially our agent is over here. Let us begin with example. Initially our agent is over here in 1-1. It won't perceive any stench or any breeze over here. Why not stench? Because it is not adjacent to the Wampus. And why not breeze? Because it is not adjacent to pit. Okay, and it is safe over here. Okay, so it concludes that the adjacent room are safe. So what it will understand, because so being in 1-1, it is feeling no stretch or breeze. That's why it concludes that adjacent rooms are safe. Okay, so it goes to, now it can go to 2-1 or 1-2. So it goes to 2-1. Suppose it goes to 2-1. So being in 2-1, it feels breeze. So it concludes that 3-1 or 2-2 must be a pit, because we know कि pit's adjacent room will get breeze. So here it gets breeze, right? So it concludes that either in 2-2 or 3-1 it is having pit. So it goes back, it comes back, because it has understood that here, because there is breeze, either here or here there's a pit. It goes back and it goes to 1-2. Okay, so now it is at 1-2. Here it perceives stench. Okay, it perceives stench. Now because it perceives stench, it concludes that either at 1-3 or at 2-2 there must be Wampus. But 2-2, where agent assumes that there could be a pit. Previously agent had assumed that here it could be a pit, but now what has happened, here, like, it is getting stench, so it concludes that here or here it must be a Wampus. But previously it has already assumed that here there must be pit. Okay, so it doesn't receive. Now in 1-2, it is not receiving any kind of breeze. Now because it is not getting breeze over here, that means the neighboring one is not pit. It understands that here there is no pit. Okay, so it concludes that at 1-3 there is Wampus and 2-2 is completely safe, and it comes at 2-2. So from 2-2, agent is over here at 2-2. From 2-2, agent can go to 2-3 or agent can go to 3-2. Okay, now what it will understand is it selects, suppose it selects 2 3. So now agent has come to 2 3. Here it finds glitter and thereby it gets gold. It concludes that there is gold over here and it stops. Okay, so what has happened each time while going from one room to the other? Okay, it is doing certain reasoning. Like initially when it was in 1 1, at that time, because it didn't get any breeze or any stench, it concluded that in neighboring room there is no wampus or there is no pit, so neighboring rooms are safe. Thereby it went over here. Okay, being over here, it got breeze. Thereby he concluded कि neighboring rooms must be a pit. So he came back. Okay, now agent went to 1 2, where it got stench, which made him conclude that over here or over here there must be wampus. So now talking about this particular position, already he has concluded that there must be pit over here, and if there would have been pit over here, it would have got a breeze, which it didn't get. So he concluded that here it is a safe place, and thereby it went to this location. Okay, so being at this location, he felt breeze. He didn't felt breeze. Okay, neither he got stench. So he went to this location where it got glitter, and thereby, so each time what he has done is it has done reasoning. Okay, it's reasoning that has led agent to take the correct action. Each time it has got the reasons. Because of those reasons, he has gone to different locations. Logical reasoning is the essence to have the correct conclusion. So using logical reasoning, it has reached to the correct conclusion. This is the way how knowledge-based agents work. Okay, so if you will see in the same example, what was knowledge over here? Okay, so here like it was sensing different things. Okay, different things was getting perceived, and using all those perceptions and its knowledge, it was moving and it went towards its goal. Okay, so in this fashion KBA works. Okay, so there are different techniques for knowledge representation, which we'll see further. Knowledge representation techniques. So there are 4 different techniques: logical representation, semantic representation, production rules, and frames representation. So previously, in our previous video, we have seen approaches for knowledge representation, and here we are seeing techniques. Okay, so what techniques we are going to use? So first one is logical representation. Okay, how to logically represent knowledge. So we need to draw conclusion based on various conditions. It is the language with some concrete rules which deals with propositions. So logic, propositions. Okay, in details we are going to see in our further videos. So first order calculus is used. This representation lays down certain important communication rules, like if this, then this, if this, then this, like that. Each sentence can be translated into logic, syntax, and semantics. For example, propositional logic and predicate logic. Now what is the problem with this? Is very simplest form of representation of knowledge. But what is the problem? It enables us for logical reasoning, and it is basic also, right? But issue is it has got certain restrictions. Okay, it is challenging to work with, and it is not very natural condition. Okay, so the second one is semantic network representation. Okay, so this is again natural representation of knowledge. It's very simple, it's easy also. Like we've already studied Easer relation, right? So that Easer relation, inheritance part, all those kind of relation, Easer relation, these are used to represent the semantic net. So over here in this case, we have got the graphical network. Network consists of the nodes representing the objects. Okay, now nodes are there where I have objects. Arcs are there, which is nothing but the relationship between object. Okay, now semantic networks can categorize the object in different forms. So we have Easer relation, kind of relation. These are the 2 important relations you can see in semantic. So semantic network. So you can see over here, Jerry is a cat. So this is one object. Cat is a mammal. Mammal is a animal. Okay, so they are joined with the help of Easer relation. Jerry is owned by Priya. Jerry is colored white. Okay, in this format, we have got the semantic network. Now it's very simple, right? But what is the problem? That it takes more computation time at runtime, as we need to traverse the tree to answer few questions. Okay, after traversing the entire tree, we might not get a solution. We might not get a solution. Like we have traversed entire tree and we might not reach at the conclusion. This is one drawback of it. Okay, and very semantic network, vast semantic network is also not possible. And I can also say that it is not intelligent. Okay, so drawing conclusions out of it is little difficult. So the third one we have is frame representation. Now what do you mean by frame? Okay, so it is a record-like structure which consists of collection of attributes and its value in the as an entity in the world. So here I have name. Suppose a person is there as an object, so name. So what is value of name? Peter. Profession of that particular person? Doctor. Age 25. Marital status? Single. So you can see in tabular format I have all the data present with me. Okay, so I have collection of attributes and values to describe the entity in the world. Entity was what? A person. A collection of the slot and slot values. As we've seen, we have slots and we have got the slot values. Okay, so now frames are derived from semantic networks. So from previous ones we can derive the frames. This way is used in natural language processing and in machine vision. Okay, so it has got in a frame knowledge about the object or event can be stored together, okay, in your knowledge base. So you can store this particular frame in knowledge base. Like that I can have n number of frames which can be stored in the knowledge base. Further, knowledge base agent with the help of inference engine can derive certain conclusion out of this stored way. Okay, this is one way how we represent the knowledge in the knowledge base frame. Okay, the last one is production rules. Okay, so production rules are like those are the one part is conditional. If condition then action, right? So it is like if condition then action I have to take. So it is having the set of production rules. Okay, it is having working memory and it can recognize an act. What do you mean by recognize an act? If like action carries out according to the associated problem solving steps. So it is called as recognize. Like condition is matched and depending upon match condition certain action is taken. Okay, if at the bus stop, if I'm at the bus stop and bus arrives, then what will be the action? I need to get into the bus. Okay, if what happens if multiple production rules are fired together? Okay, this is called as conflict situation, right? So how to resolve from conflict? So agent needs to select a rule from this. So there comes the role of agent. Agent will be selecting appropriate rule from that particular set. This is called as conflict resolution. Okay, what is the advantage of this technique is it is expressed in the natural language. It is highly modular. And disadvantages, no learning capabilities are there in the rule. It doesn't store the result of the problem for future use. So that is one drawback of it. Thank you.